We're ready for another weekly workout. We're going to start with our usual warm-up, remembering that warm-ups are so important. If you're a runner, if you like going on long walks, things like that, always a good idea to have a good warm-up first of all. It just loosens the joints, lubricates them nicely, gets the muscles ready for action. So if you are running, if you are doing anything strenuous, always have a little quick warm-up first of all to get everything moving. Really, really important. And a good, important starting base is to have a good posture before we start too. So with that in mind, have your feet just a tiny bit wider than your hips. Push your weight down equally through both feet and equally through the whole of your feet too. Stretch your arms overhead, pull your shoulders back and down, pull your arms back a little bit, have a stretch through the core muscles, tuck your bottom underneath and pull your tummy up and in. Just pull your ribs back and then release the arms and relax. Soften your knees and just curl down to the floor, relaxing through the upper back, through the shoulders, through your arms, knees well bent. Feel the stretch over your bottom and then come back up and up, straightening the legs as you come, tucking the tummy in, popping the bottom underneath. Roll your shoulders and roll them again, leaving the arms slightly back and down. Good. Bring the feet in and we're just going to take 8 alternate knee lifts up, not too high to start with. Lovely. And 8. And then out to the side, just to get the hips going too. Lovely. Good. And then just a little stretch to the side, out and out. Working the arms as well. Just 8 of everything as we go. Good. Then have a stretch up. And then stretch through the ribs for 8. 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Come down, bend your knees and curl to the floor again. Have a little relax when you're there. Pull your tummy up and in, but let your shoulders and upper back relax. Come up and up. Knee lifts again, tucking everything in, don't forget. Lift. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7. Out to the diagonal, thinking about our core muscles as we go. Lovely. So bottom is down and in, tummy's up and in, shoulders are back and down. Let's go out to the side, out and out and out and out. Stretching through the arms and through the legs as you go. Lovely. Do a few more of these. Keep your tummy toned, keep the shoulders down. Good. And stretch and stretch. Reach up again, lift and up. Check your postural muscles are in the right place before you rib stretch. 2 and 3 and 4, reaching up and up and up. Bend your knees, now pull down, pull the arms down, tuck your tummy in, weight forward rather than back, come up, 2, 3 and 4. Take a side sway, pushing your knees out over your toes, but not pushing your shins forward. Lovely, good. So making sure you're going down and up now, warming up through the knees, warming the thighs up nicely. Good. And just push across to get the upper back stretching through the shoulder blades there. Good. And then up to a bit of a diagonal. Still thinking about your core postural muscles as you go. Good. Come back to the middle. Take a few knee bends down and up. Down. And take the arms with you. Out. Cross. Out. Bottom in. Pushing your knees towards your middle toes, but not pushing your shin forward. Just going down into it. Sitting down on your bottom. That's the sort of feeling you want. Good. And then let's change it to our bottom sticking out squat. Keeping your chest lifted, your shoulders down. So you're looking straight ahead at me on your screen rather than down to the floor. Chest up, bottom going out. So weight is going a little bit back into your heels, but it's through the whole foot. We're not really leaning back at all there. Good. And down a bit deeper now. Down a bit deeper. Lovely. Back to the other squat. Down, up, down. Feel the difference now. Keep those shins back so they stay sort of perpendicular from your knees. And down, up, down, up, down, up. Lovely. Good. Let's just get this core-y bit working in the middle. So feet back to hip width apart, soften your knees, Bottom down and in, tummy up and in before you start. Feel tall between your hips and your shoulders there, and draw the shoulders back and down. Let's start at the top with the shoulders. So a few rolls forward, up, back and down, and then lift your elbows up. And just take some squeezes in between the shoulder blades there, just to get them nicely warmed up. Brilliant, fantastic, good. Bring the arms down and just curl them in and draw them back. Curl them in, draw them back. So we're just warming up the muscles of the upper back, the shoulders and the upper arms there. Good, let's move down a little bit now to our ribs. Hands on your ribs to just slide out to the side and push. So keep them back. You might find it easier with your arms out here. I'm just going to move along my mat a tiny bit. So you might find it easier here, but if you can do it here, try and keep your feet fixed into the floor and make your muscles around your rib cage push and push out to the side, out to the side. Lovely. As I say, straighten your arms if it helps. Do whichever version is best for you. What we're really working on is getting those ribs moving, loosened through, ready for some harder work later. Bring them back to the middle, expand them forwards and pull them back. Trying not to stick your bottom out at the same time, keeping that move just in your ribs. So expanding through the rib cage and then drawing it back. Not making the shoulders do the work, make the ribs do the work. So push the ribs forward, pull the ribs right back. And obviously other bits of your body move, but it's primarily your ribs doing the work. Bring them back to a middle-y position, which is quite nice in here. Check your tummy is tucked in, your bottom is down. Slightly soften your knees. I'm just going to turn, but you can stay where you are. And we're just going to take our out and in move that we should be getting quite good at now, hopefully. So just the bottom. The ribs aren't doing anything. They move a little bit, but they're not doing much. It's just this pelvic girdle area here. And it's really lovely to loosen up through those muscles. Now accentuate it even more. So stick the bottom out more, pull it through more. Hip bones forward more. So we're really just moving that, but we're in control. There's no jerkiness through there. And we are just in control. Then bring it back to a little one again. Lovely. I'm going to turn and face you. Good. And rest. Making sure we've rested with the ribs back, the shoulders back and down, tummy up and in there nicely. Now just let the hips go to the side. Just loosen them up. Get them working. And when you feel ready from there, we're going to do a couple of our hip circles. So just moving it round. Moving it round. Tummy is toned, as I said. We're not pushing the tummy forward. Tummy is nicely toned. And we're thinking about our hip bones. Making a big sort of double circle here as we go round. Now think about the bit where you're the stiffest. Concentrate on that bit more. I'm slightly more stiff to my left than I am to the right. And then come back the other way. So making sure it's not all legs and knees moving, that your pelvic area is sort of coming forward, going to the side, going back, side, and then around. Lovely. Good. Let's go the other way once more. Once you feel it, it's a lovely movement to do. And you feel like you're really engaging all of those lower core muscle groups in getting everything to work. And your hips just feel looser after it. And come back around the other way. And the other way. Good. Excellent. Fantastic. Come back to the middle. Just straighten up. And just thinking about those core muscles, get a little pull up through the body and get a walk going here. Lovely. If you want to, we're going to turn the walk into a run, but you don't have to. You can keep walking equally well. So if you are walking, just think about lifting your knees up a little bit more. And if you're running, really think about your core muscles. Check everything is still engaged and toned as we do this. Lovely. Good. And have a little breather. We're now all going to lift alternate knees up and up. And if you want to, add a very little hop in between. And if you want to, pull the arms down again. You don't have to spring, you can just step. But if you want to get the heart going a little bit more, you can pull down and have a little hop. So do whatever suits you when you're doing this workout. Lovely. Back to a run or a walk. Good. Very nice. Again, zipping up through the core. Take your arms down below. Again, whether you're walking or running doesn't matter. And just crisscross them. So changing which hand is on top. And then bring them up. Still running, still walking. And then take them down. Lovely. And up. 2, 3, and 4. Come down. Still thinking about our core muscles and how they're keeping everything anchored. Arms back up and back down. Ready to go into our knee lifts. Off we go. Up. Spring if you want to spring, or just step it through. Lovely. Pull the elbows down. So even if you're walking, still get the arms going. And it just makes the heart beat that little bit faster. Good. Lovely. Pull it back to a walk, everybody. Zip up through the core. Shoulders back and down. Lovely. Feet hip width apart now. Lift up overhead. Pull your ribs back. Pull your tummy in. Stretch up through. Good. Pull down. Soften your knees and curl down to the floor. Weight forward, but both feet firmly on the floor, baby toes and big toes. Tummy in. Uncurl your spine back up, popping the vertebrae back on top of one another. Draw your shoulders back and down. Be aware of where your tummy muscles are. Be aware that your bottom is down and in. You have the curvature in the spine, but it's under control with your core muscles keeping it all in tight. Lovely. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so holding on to the weights now, let's have your feet just a bit wider than your hips, weight planted firmly down through both feet. We're going to start off just with doing our bicep curls just on their own in isolation with nothing else, just focusing on that resistance up and down, up and down, up and down, just 4 times here. Now straighten the arms in front of you and carry on and do it here, and down and up and in. Lovely. Back down again, down and up and down. So feel the biceps beginning to work now. Down and out, up and in. Lovely. Keep your core under control. And let's do a few more out here now we're warming through. The muscles know what's expected of them. Lovely. Pop one weight down and hold on to the other, taking it up overhead. Remember, this is our elbow in one that we haven't done for a few weeks. Sorry, I flung my arms up a little bit there. So keep your elbows in close to your head and take the weight back and down and up. Don't let the elbows come out here, that's no point. We want to work those underarm muscles, those triceps. So we need to keep the elbows in, we need to think about our posture nicely and keep everything under control. So down, lift. And it is maybe a little bit boring, but they're really, really effective for working the arms there. Good. Have a little relax there. Pick up the other weight again. And let's do our little rotator cuff ones. Out and in. Out and in. Out and in. Out and in. So we've got a nice firm base. And all we're thinking about for the moment is just working our arms and arms. Bring it down. Now take one up and one out as we did last week. Up and up. So one short, one long. Lift both arms. You're lifting the elbow of the bent arm up, and you're keeping your core nice and steady, and down. And we can begin to just bend with it, down, up. Keep your bottom in, shouldn't be hurting in the lower back at all, or anywhere in the back really. Just your posture is keeping everything in, your core muscles are nice and stable. And lift, and up, shoulders back and down. Lovely, and lift, and lift, and lift, and lift. Good, pop the arms down. Now a move we did last week, I'm going to turn sideways. Keep your feet wide, soft knees, We've already gone forward with a straight back. We're going to go halfway down to that straight position, making sure we haven't pushed back here, keeping everything a little bit forward, a little bit of a squeeze in between your shoulder blades and tone up through here, and keep your chest quite high. And we're just going to lift and lower from here. So working across the shoulders, across the upper back as well as your arms. I just had to tighten my tummy there. You just need to keep a good old feel on those core muscles to keep them stable while we do this important strengthening work. Lovely little bit of a bend in your knees. You might find one arm is a little bit better at these than the other. And up, down, up, and recover there. Good. Come back, facing the front, feet together. We're going to get a sway going now, lifting the weights up to our chest, bending and pointing through as deeply as you want to go, so you can either do little sways or lovely big deep ones. And we're going to push the weight across, trying to keep them just a fraction below shoulder level. Definitely not any lower than your chest. Pushing out, keeping your elbows high, so they won't be as high as your shoulders, but just keep them just a little bit below. Don't let them sink down here, that's a bit too easy. Keep the elbows out and up, keep the knee bend going, and then if you really want to, push both out. It's not very nice, that one. Keeping your core steady, down, push, in, push. So come into your chest and out, stretch, and push now. Push, pull, push, 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 pull, push, and push, and push, and push. Good. Keeping your feet wide, take a lovely deep knee bend, bottom in, and we're going to put one weight down. Going to hold on to one weight. You don't have to have weights, as always, it is up to you. And we're going to reach down for the knee, shoulder, stretch out, shoulder. Outer side of your knee, shoulder, stretch, shoulder. Knee, face the front, up. Your hips don't move, but your upper body moves to accommodate each move. Stretch, and down, in, and stretch, and down, in, and stretch, and down, in, and stretch. Change hands, other arm, down, shoulder, high V. Down, shoulder, high, shoulder, down, shoulder, up, down. And guess what we're going to do next? We're going to keep the pattern going, but we're going to go down lower towards our ankle. Let's change hands. So a bit lower if you can. Not bending your legs anymore, taking your body down to where you want it to go, keeping the shoulder back, keeping everything from your hips down, completely steady, tummy toned. Off we go. Down and stretch. And as you come up, make sure you're strongly tucked in. Your bottom's not sticking out. Your legs are solid. Down, shoulder, out, shoulder. Outer ankle. Don't lean on your other leg. Down. You could actually put that hands on our hips to keep it secure. And down. And feel your side core muscles working there. And your back. And your hip. Round your hips, round your pelvic area. Working through your glutes. Oh, and change arms. Good. Couldn't get all of my words out then. Down we go. Down. Shoulder stretch. Shoulder. Down. And think about what's happening around the middle here. You're in control. Up. Take your body down. Shoulder up. Don't try and force it down to your ankle. If you're more comfortable and still getting a stretch to your outer calf, do that. But if you can, go down. Shoulder up. Shoulder down. Shoulder up. Shoulder. Good. Well done. Have a little breather there. We're going to... Okay, so we need some weights handy as you go down on the floor. I'm going to use green. Again, my 1.5k weights, one for each hand there ready. We don't need them just yet. So we're going to go back down, we're going to go down onto the floor, relaxing our shoulders into our mat or into your floor. Just thinking about our spine being in contact with the floor all the way down, but in a natural way. So we're not forcing anything down. We're thinking about the natural curves that are in our spine anyway. And we're just gently toning through the tummy, drawing down through the back of the ribs, but only very gently. Okay, we're going to first of all just take a moment to think about our pelvic floor. I was reading, I think there was something on Facebook recently, and I thought, yeah, we talk about pelvic floor all the time. So just take a moment in your own time just to pull up through the pelvic floor. So it just feels as if you're drawing up through the pelvic floor, up towards your tummy button, and then release off. Draw up through. If it helps, just tone through the tummy a little bit more at the same time, but you should be able to do it independently. Draw up through and relax off. You shouldn't be able to see anything else happening unless you've decided to add the tummy in because you feel it a little bit easier. If you find it really hard, imagine drawing up through everything down there. So just pull everything up and then release off. And then gradually, when you find those muscles to pull up and release off, you can just isolate it to the pelvic floor. Lovely. And release off. You shouldn't hold your breath. And really, in an ideal world, nobody would know that you were doing any exercises when you exercise your pelvic floor in that way. To carry on the theme, a movement we've done before, just pull your feet in quite close to your bottom, tuck in strongly so that your coccyx comes off the floor a little bit, relax through your shoulders, and just push up and down, curling your spine up and down. I'm sure the floor in this conservatory sort of slopes downwards. I always feel a little bit unbalanced when I'm here. I know I'm unbalanced anyway, before anyone says, but I always feel like I'm sliding slightly downwards in a sideways way. Anyway, that's not for you to worry about. We're just going up and down here, drawing our tummy in through here, and as we put our spine back down on the floor, we're rolling it back down. We're making sure we're not putting our coccyx back down on the floor. That can stay off. Just going down and up gently. And if you can, think about, as you draw up, just tone through your glutes and draw up through your pelvic floor. So glutes, pelvic floor, release, release. Glutes and pelvic floor, and down, down. Make sure you haven't hunched up in your shoulders. You're only going as far as your shoulder blades. We're not going any higher. Good. Lovely. Excellent. And go back down. Just stay down for now. Take your feet out a little bit further away from you. We're going to put our hands on our thighs, tucking a tennis ball under our chin and keeping our shoulders relaxed. We're going to reach twice for that knee, twice for that knee, up, 2, 3, curl back down. Twice for one knee, twice over to the other knee, 3 up to the middle, 3, come down. Good. Again, up, 2, and up, and 2. Both together, 2, 3, and down. Again, up. Now all the time we're doing these, our shoulders are back and down, our tummy's pulled in, and we're not holding our breath. Again, 1. We've got a tennis ball under our chin. Lovely. Middle, 2, 3, and down. Now I don't know about you, by the time I've done those sorts of exercises a few times, I can just start to feel tension in the back of my neck, even though I've got my head in a good position. You can just feel it. So I always think it's a good idea to stop doing those then. We'll come back to them in a minute, you'll be glad to know. And we're just going to work our legs. So for a moment we're going to revisit our scissor legs that we do quite a lot, keeping our back down, tummy nice and flat as you do them, thinking all the time about not letting your lower back arch in any way, keeping it down, keeping the body steady, taking a normal breathing pattern. And remember, you can do tippy toes on the floor, bringing your thighs right in if you'd rather, or if you're quite good you can stretch right out, or you can do anything in between just to make it a little bit easier for yourself as you go. Good. Excellent. Pop the feet back down, tuck everything in, tennis ball back under your chin, and we're ready to do our reaching. 1 and 2. And if you're reaching your knee quite easily, slide your feet out a little bit. 2, 3, and down. Up, and 2, over the other side, and reach. Don't make it lazy. Really reach up, really work your core, and down. Again, 2, and up, and 3 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, last time. 1. Now don't overdo this, as I say, if it strains into the back of your neck, just stop 1 and 2 and 3 and down. Now scissor legs, so make sure you're still tucked in. 1 and reach. Remember, just go to here, pulling your thighs right in onto your chest if you can, or extending your leg right out. Another alternative is you can slide your leg out along the floor if you'd rather, but I'm not tense in my upper body. I'm toned through my abdominals to do this properly. I'm not letting my abdominals bulge, hopefully. You've probably got a good view of that from here, but I'm trying not to let them bulge. And then I'm just relaxing down and down. I'm going to have my feet fairly close to my bottom, strong tuck under to do our hip lift again. Thinking glutes and pelvic floor, release. Glutes and release. Think glute toning and down and lift and down. There should be no tension in the upper body at all. You're keeping your tummy toned so your tummy button isn't sticking up. Your hips are leading the way. Up and down. Up and down. Stay up this time. So pushing your weight down through your shoulder blades, through the soles of your feet equally. Just do little pumps down and up without touching the floor in between now. Thinking about your glutes doing the work to lift you up and toning the glutes. Thinking about pelvic floor work too if you can. It's quite a lot for the brain to think about everything at the same time. I'd rather you had a good tummy and back position than thinking about the added extras. Lovely. I've got to keep my eyes closed. The sun has just come into the wrong position. And ease back down and ease back down. Lovely. Good. Just slide your right leg out in front of you and take your left arm over your head. If that's not very comfy, you can take your arm into a square position if I show you on this side. So either have an arm here or have it back there if you can. So we've got the opposite arm and leg straight. And we're just going to bring them up to meet each other, keeping our tummy down and up and down. I'm hoping actually you can still see my toe because I didn't check that before I started filming. And up, I think you can. And up and down. Keep your body as steady as you can. Keep your tummy muscles beautifully toned. Lovely. Now stretch your heel. It's hard not to stretch your wrist at the same time. Feel that stretch down the back of your ankle, over your heel. And also making your hamstrings stretch a little bit too. And close those in. Stretch out the other side now. Pointed toe to start off with. Don't let your hip drop, so make sure your hips are still the same, are still beside each other. The temptation is to push that leg out and the hip drops, but try not to. Keeping your shoulders down. Remember, don't have your arm over your head if that's not a comfy position. You can take it up to your leg from the side. It's up to you, but if you can, it's lovely for the shoulders to reach out. Good strength work for the arms. And then stretch your heel gently when you feel you can. Don't forget about your abdominals, keep them toned. I just felt I had to give a little extra tone there on mine to stop them lifting up, stop my lower back coming up, especially when you go down. This is the position where they want to lift off when you're going down. So it's toning. This is really good for toning the flattening muscles. So toning your tummy in a flattening way. This is lovely. Good. Pop everything down and in. Pick up the weights you've got beside you now. Lovely. And we're going to take them up overhead just above your chest. And we're just going to open and in and open. Keeping everything steady. Open and in. If you don't have weights, that's absolutely fine. You can do it just with, if you clench your fists and make your arms nice and strong. So we're doing this with, we're sort of being really deliberate and strong here. With or without weights, feel the resistance. Pull down, push back up. Pull down, push back up. Stay here for a moment. Lift your legs up. You don't need to have them straight. Try and have your thighs at 90 degree or perpendicular to your body. And we're going to open everything and in. So your arms, I would imagine, and hope, I think, that your arms will go further than your legs. But you never know. Maybe some of you whose legs go further, but I'm thinking not. And just go out and in. Oh, I just got a cramp in my calf. So I'm going to straighten my legs and in. Don't know, I probably haven't drunk enough water today. You can keep your legs a little bit bent, or you can straighten them like mine if you want to. And out and in, out. And bend if you want to. Lovely. So have a little choose now whether you want to do straight legs or bent legs, it's up to you. Pull the toes back towards you and do a few pointing as well, completely up to you. But keep everything under control, keep your lower back on the floor. And if I keep talking long enough, we'll get lots done, and you can feel that working your arms with the weights, but also working across your chest to heave-ho back up, and your shoulders as well. Lovely. Bring everything down, push up, down, push up. Stretch the feet. So again, do a combination, coming down to your chest. The sort of knees aren't coming into your chest, but the weights are coming down to your chest. And pushing up, down, up, down. Pop the weights down. Finish with a few little scissor legs. And out, out, out. And push, 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 push. Keep that going, going. Lovely. And to finally finish it off, we're going to go back to the first tummy movement. So hands on your thighs, feet slid out a little bit further away from you now. Tennis ball under your chin. 2 up here, 2 up there, 3 in the middle, 1, and reach, curl down, curl up, 2 and up, 2 and for 3, tummy pull down, shoulders back and down, tennis ball under your chin and stretch. Now you shouldn't feel this in your lower back, but if you do, please stop and just private message me and I'll have a look and have a chat with you about it. Up and press, 2, 3, come down, have a stretch up with your arms, open wide, check you've got room, close up, bring them down, bring your knees in onto your chest, have a little hug in, lift your coccyx off the floor, have a little rock from side to side. This would be a good time to add in the Better Backs video and the good old plank challenge if you want to have a little go at that. If not, just come to sitting up and we'll carry on cooling down. Well done. Now, so starting off, let's just use our heads and let's turn to one side and come back to the middle, the other side and back, and let's just tilt to one side and up and tilt to the other side. Look to the right again or whichever way you want to, and out and tilt over. It doesn't matter which way we go, over and back. Good. Reach forward now, pushing your hands away from you, rounding your shoulders, pushing forward with your arms, pulling back through your tummy muscles and your ribs, rounding through, feeling that lovely rounded feeling. And release off. Just clasp your fingers behind you and take a stretch up through behind you there. Keeping your shoulders down, try not to hunch them up here, just down. You don't need to clasp fingers if you can't do that, if it's too much of a strain, just hold fingers or just hold your hands behind you. But if you can, a little clasp there is quite nice. Good, and then release off. Lift one elbow up and pop the fingers on your shoulder. Don't hold on to your shoulder, and then just nudge that elbow back so that you're stretching out the opposite shoulder. Over here is having a lovely stretch after all the work it did earlier. And release off and then swap. So put your fingertips up, lift your elbow, then just move that elbow around, take those fingers off the shoulder there and have a little stretch up through there. Lovely, and just release off. Very nice. Now just take one hand and pop it on your shoulder, pop the other one on your elbow, and then have a little pull back through there. I'm sure you've all done these in some sort of exercise class before. I know we do them on the weekly workouts. Stretch up and then go back down and ease back through, making sure we're not here. Draw the shoulders back and down. Tummies are under control too. Perfect. Good. Just cross one foot over the other and release the back heel and just take a beautiful stretch through the waist, pushing one arm underneath you and one arm over the top. That's lovely. I love that. I feel a bit balletic as I do this one. I probably don't look it at all. Don't ruin my own illusion. And come down. Stretch the other way as well. Beautiful. Well done. And relax. Let's go into a downward dog, my favourite. I think you can beat a good old downward dog. So ease down with your knees bent. Pull yourselves into a downward dog position. Head between your arms. Pull your tummy and your ribs up. And just have a lovely stretch. Ease alternate heels towards the floor. Reaching through. It's a lovely stretch again. Even though we're down here, we still need to make sure our shoulders are pulled down. Lovely. Away from our ears. And then walk your feet back in when you can put your heels down with knees bent. Come on up through. Tucking everything in. Have a little roll through the shoulders. Have a final stretch up. Pull down and relax. Well done. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever you're doing now. And thank you for joining us.